Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Larry Gonzales, who will be fighting on CageWarriors Northwest 5 against Richard Foster. Hello, Larry. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good, thanks. Larry, you had a few amateur fights, few professional bouts, but I think that many eyes are on you right now because of your great performance on Uriah Faber A1 Combat. So if you can tell me more about this performance, because you defeated a very good fighter in Luis Schwenke.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing slugfest right there. We had a 3 round war. I was supposed to fight that guy, I think in 2020 and 2021 two times, but I pulled out because of injuries. But yeah, it was a good fight. He had just actually beat my training partner Chris Lewis before that, so I went into that fight, with a chip on my shoulder, saying, "Hey, I gotta stop this guy because he beat my teammate." It was a good fight. I was expecting him to be, throwing those overhands like he was catching me in the beginning with those overhand rights, and we were practicing that the whole time. Like, watch out for the overhand rights, the calf kicks, takedowns. And for some reason in the fight, I was getting caught with them, and I was just like shaking it off. So, it's just one of those things where I have to be more disciplined with that, and I think I messed up on that. But the rest, my game plan was good. I kept the fight standing. He tried to take me down a couple of times in round 1, 2, and 3. My cage work against the fence, I've been, getting better and better at that, defending takedowns, wrestling. Shout out to my coach Brandon Cash, my training partner. He's been helping me out with that, and Chris Lewis again. So yeah, it was a good fight. If you watched it, I don't know if I'm not sure if you watched that fight, but
Yes.
I was using a lot of switching stances. I've been working on that. I don't want to just be a guy who goes in there orthodox and can't mix it up.
And it was a very high pace fight. So for heavyweight, sometimes the first round is like very good, but rest of the fight is like a little bit more slowly. But in this bout, it was like you said, a 15-minute war.
Yeah. I was practicing my, cardio, everything, strength and conditioning, SynCal Fitness. He gets me ready for these fights. The before this fight was a 5 rounds fight, so I think that's why I lasted so long, so good in that last fight, because the fight before that one was supposed to be 5 rounds. It was for a championship. I actually lost TKO in the first round. But I was ready for all 5 rounds, and then we following up on that fight. I had the same amount of cardio, strength and conditioning for 5 5-minute rounds. So I took that into the three 5-minute rounds, and it was easy.
And was it a one fight deal with A1 Combat?
Oh yes. They were asking me to come on December to fight again here in Visalia, December 23rd. I said if I can get through this next fight, unscathed and healthy, then I'll take that fight. So the plan is to get this win on November 18th and come back in December 23rd and fight again for A1. The Lord willing, I'll come out of this fight victorious and without any cuts or bruises, anything. Every fight, you're gonna get messed up, but hopefully, I should come out of this fight unscathed, so I can get this next fight, get 2 fights before the end of the year. That'd be amazing.
And A1 Combat is quite big regional promotion, so I think that you would be a perfect guy for a heavyweight title in this promotion.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be awesome. I would love to get a professional heavyweight title, under my belt, and then take that. Once you get that heavyweight belt professionally, then the bigger organizations start looking at you like, hey, this guy's a contender. Let's see what he can do against, some better prospects. Like this next fight, the Richard Foster has 11 fights under his belt, like 6-5. So it's going to be one of my toughest challenges. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. It's going to be a good match. Good fight.
Yes, and I believe that he's also a very tall fighter. So I think that it also can give you some like challenges, let's say.
Oh, definitely. He's 6'7", so yeah, I'm preparing for that. For the length, the long legs, the knees. I've watched a few of his fights. He has good head kicks. He has good submissions. But me and my team are, we've done all our notes, and we're working on that. Takedown defense. Hopefully he's ready to strike with me because everyone knows amateur, pro. I want to keep it standing. I want to have a good fight for the fans. I want the fans to be like, "Whoa, this guy's a wonderful striker." We I do it for the fans. Anybody who's watching, I make sure that they're like, "Hey, I know who that guy is. He's also that's the Bear. That's Larry Gonzales. I want to see him fight again. He doesn't like to just lay on people, and I like grappling. I've been grappling since 2012. You know, um, I love grappling, but in the cage, I like striking.
And I think that after your last performance, the many fans know who you are right now. It gave you like a little bit more notoriety, and the fight was shown on UFC Fight Pass. So I think that also the people all over the world can see your style and can see your skills.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, I hope everyone liked it, and I got actually quite a few followers from that fight. People noticing me here in the valley, like, hey, that's Larry, So yeah, that's just showing you that I'm putting in the work and getting the time in there.
And recently you become a father. And did it give you any additional motivation to fight in your next fights?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, my we just had a little girl, me and my wife Precious. Her name's Hera. She's 6 weeks old today, actually, and yeah, it's been it's very challenging for me right now because I need that rest at night, but it's given me a lot more motivation than so yeah, it's way more motivation than I did have. So like I want to go to the UFC, I want to go to the PFL, I want to go to these big organizations and get good fights. And this has just pushed me to that level. Like I have a daughter now. It's not just me and my wife. I gotta it's a different mindset. Whenever I'm training now, I'm just like, okay, this guy's gonna come and take food out of my baby's mouth and this and that. Babe, can you get the door real quick? Oh, can you give me a second? I'm so sorry.
Yes, yes, no problem.
I think she's here. But yeah, it's definitely a different mindset. Um, but I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
So your next opponents need to be like worry about your motivation because you when you become a father you are a more dangerous man.
Oh, of course, definitely. They're gonna you work on those takedowns because that's all that they're gonna have. Try to take me down. That's all everyone does. Amateur, pro. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for you.
And if we can talk a little bit about your beginnings in the sport, when you decided to become an MMA fighter, and did you have any background before MMA training?
Yeah, so my background's in boxing, actually. My dad was a boxer. He was Golden Glove champions back in the 70s. So he's been training me boxing since I was a little kid, you know, 7, 8 years old. And then what happened was I started getting into Muay Thai when I was 15 and Jiu Jitsu when I was 16 at Fredson Paishal, Fresno here. Um, very standard, very standard, structured old school Muay Thai where, you're very, you're just checking a lot, returning kicks, focusing on kicks and stuff. But I put my boxing with the Muay Thai, and everything was going good from 16 to 18. My last 2 years in high school, I was just I actually stopped going to high school and I went to homeschool so that I can train more because that was my dream. My goal was to become a fighter, a UFC fighter, professional mixed martial artist. And what happened was I got a pretty good job at the time working for hospice, and I stopped training. I stopped training for between 18 and 22 for about 4 years. I stopped training and I got fat, man. I was up to 350 pounds. I was getting depressed. I hated my life at that point. So I just returned to martial arts, and that really helped me out mentally, physically. Turned to martial arts, and what happened was I met my coach Larry Heredia, and he kind of molded me into the fighter I am today. He put my very basic Muay Thai and boxing skills. He put that on the line and put some Muay Thai, some karate footwork, karate movement, angles. And it was telling me like this day and age, you can't just go in and be, boxing and Muay Thai. You have to put every mixed martial arts. It's mixed martial arts. You have to put every art in there. So we've been focused a lot on my angles, footwork, head movement. Um, counter punching. I don't like to just go in there and like brawl 1-2. Like I like to, if you've noticed in my last fight, like I'm throwing 1-2, then I'm switching stances and throwing like a two from southpaw. I'm trying to react to the countering. I'm pulling, cutting angles. I'm getting better and better slowly over time as that goes. And I kind of went away from the point, but yeah. So I've been training for a while, about 11 or 12 years altogether, fighting for about 4 years, and it's helped me. It's helped me out in my life. I don't know what I would do without fighting. Um, and during my day-to-day life, it's really helped me. And yeah, that's that. I've been fighting for jiu-jitsu. I'm a jiu-jitsu blue belt with gi. I don't really train in gi too often. But I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 2012 under Daniel Mosqueda. Back then, he was a black belt under Fredson Paixão, who now has his own school in Vegas. And then now I'm training at Halo Jiu-Jitsu and Dethrone MMA under Mike Moreno. And jiu-jitsu is always there. I love jiu-jitsu, but I'm a striker at heart. And
And
wrestling, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and did you ever thought about becoming a boxer, not a MMA fighter?
I did. I did. I still think about it, but I'm 28 right now, and I feel like in boxing, when guys are already at my age, 28, they're already like 20-0, or they already have like 20 or 30 fights under the belt. So I don't think there's money in boxing right now for guys my age who are 28. If I was like 21 right now, definitely I would jump in there. Yeah, I would jump in there. But no, I think that I have a future in mixed martial arts, and I can make money this way.
And you are training in Detron base camp, right?
Yeah, dethrone. Yes, I train at dethrone. Actually, I train so my just pure striking, I'll train at Budokan Fighting Arts with Larry Heredia, and then my pure grappling, I'll train at Halo with Brandon Cash, and then my MMA, we're mixing it all together. I mix it up with Mike Moreno at Dethrone Base Camp. Yes.
Yes, I believe that even on Topology you had three gyms next to your name.
Yeah, it's yeah, yeah. I go for Larry Heredia. He's a great striking coach, and then they all work together. All my coaches work together for me. I feel like you can't just stay at one gym nowadays. You have to go around. You have to learn new disciplines. Get different looks with different guys, different people. I spar with smaller guys who beat me up. I spar with bigger guys who beat me up. Um, we just can't you can't stay at one gym, I felt, and grow nowadays. You have to spread. Even my strength and conditioning, I send Cal Fitness, that's a different. So there's actually four gyms. And then go to boxing gym Alemans for sparring. I have very good boxing sparring partners there. Jet Blackwell, he is a national champion, junior Olympic national champion. um, I sparred with Richard Torres. If you heard of Richard Torres in Tulare, California, he is destroying everyone right now in boxing. He's killing everyone, and he destroys me. So I learned from him. Um, Another pro boxer right now, Brian, Brian Hollywood Hall. I train to spar with him. Uh, Man, there's a lot there. Yeah, we have a big heavyweight crew here in Fresno, and we all train together when we can. And another gym, this will be like a fifth or sixth gym I train at, is bullpen boxing as well. So bullpen boxing, Coach Chris out there, he gives me some looks, and we do some sparring with his guys. Lots of sparring everywhere here in the valley. It's a very tight knit community.
And as far as MMA training, do you train with the young prospects, the guys who are like 19 or 20 years old, who can be a UFC or Bellator fighters in let's say near future?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I train with a lot of young up and coming amateurs for 559 Fights, which is our local amateur fight series, and Valley Fight Series here in Fresno, California, or the Central Valley. There's a lot of guys who train at Halo and Dethrone that I train with constantly. There's not too many heavyweights. There is the Avalos brothers. They're professional right now. They're coming up. They were on the card that I was on, A1 Combat. Um, Jose Avalos and Christian Avalos, those guys, man, those guys are really great grapplers. So I try to learn from them as much as I can. Um, there's a lot of different. Damn, I'm not too good with names right now, but I'm like, there's guys that I train with a lot who are coming up and comers, amateurs, and
And
definitely look out for them in the future for sure.
And I think that training with the fighters, not heavyweights, but let's say middleweights or light heavyweights, can give you some additional looks because they are faster, they are harder to hit. So I think that for you it's also a very good part of the training, let's say.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite sparring partners is my coach's son, Storm Heredia. He's up and comer. He just actually won a pack title 2 weeks ago, 2 Sundays ago, and he's a monster. He's been doing karate. He's a black belt since he was 7 years old, and he started doing kickboxing when he was 15. Now he's 20. He's 26, and I've been telling him to go pro, but he wants to take his time. And go pro, when he's ready. I feel like he's ready, but he wants to take another few fights before he goes pro kickboxing. So he's a whole different monster. He whoops my ass, and I learned from him a lot. And I believe you'll see him one day in not MMA, but you'll see him in one championship one day in the next 2 years for sure.
And what is a main goal for you as far as the MMA? Do you want to go to the UFC, be in the ranking, fight for the world title?
That's always been my dream, to fight for Bellator, UFC, PFL, these big organizations. And really what I want to do is I want to be able to do what I love, which is mixed martial arts, without having like a job. Like I work for home health right now in California at Compassionate Care, but I want to be able to support me and my family off of just fighting. So that's the goal, that's the dream one day. And I know by doing what I'm doing now, I will get there one day, and I will, have multiple fights a year for, making 10, 20, $30,000 starting off. And I think that once I do start getting these big fights and people start seeing my striking skills and my I don't want to say jujitsu or wrestling skills, because I always just use it for defense only, because I'm a striker. And I don't have a problem with that. This day and age, everyone has grappling skills, striking skills, but I'm a striker and I will always be a striker. And if you want to grapple with me, let's go. I can grapple too. But yeah, I want to be a world champion one day. That's
And
the goal. That's the dream.
and also I think that right now you are 3-1, but in few months you can be 5-1, in the end of this year. And UFC, it's also like always is in need of the good heavyweight fighters. So I think that for you it can be like right now you are 3-1, but in like 8 or 9 months you can be in the UFC fighting against some fighter even next to the rankings.
Yeah, see, that's what the whole plan is, is to get a chance to show my skills on like the Contender Series or something for the UFC. Maybe take a last short notice fight and show them what I can do. You know, that's the dream. That's the goal. I'm getting there. At the end of this year, I'm hoping to get, like I was saying earlier, I'm hoping to get through this fight unscathed and fight again in December. Maybe I can get my record to 5-1, and then start opening some doors from there. LFA, maybe LFA will call me for a short notice fight or something in January, February, or another big organization like Bellator. PFL. One of my first opponents that I lost to decision to, Patrick Brady. He had his shot in the PFL recently, and he lost. He actually blew out his knee, but that's, yeah. Seeing somebody that I fought before, and it was a close fight. I dropped him twice. I don't know how I didn't get that win, but seeing somebody that I fought before make it to the PFL and do that, that gives me more motivation too. I'm like, hey, I should have been there. I should be there right now. Let's grind some more.
And do you have a fighter in the UFC or on the any other organization that you would like to face? Let's say in a dream fight scenario.
A dream fight scenario.
Yes, yes.
A dream fight, because I love him so much, it would be Cain Velasquez, and that would be I would love to fight Cain Velasquez. I know he was a killer, a world champion, and most guys would be scared to say that, but Cain Velasquez, that would be a freaking dogfight. I'd love that. Right now, the guys in the UFC, I think actually, Tai Tuivasa, that would be a great fight too. Tai Tuivasa, good striker. He wouldn't even want to go to the ground. I would love that. And then, Junior Tafa, his brother, Justin Tafa, those would be beautiful fights. We're all strikers. Oh, man. Whew, I'm getting excited thinking about stuff like that. Yeah, one day, very soon. Expect me there.
Yes, but I think that even in like 1 year you can fight with either of these guys, because sometimes there is a like fighter is like injured and the UFC needs to another fighter to take the fight on short notice, and sometimes the kind of opportunities happen, even if we can think that it's impossible, but sometimes it just happen just like that in 1 second.
In 1 year, man, that would be amazing. That would be a wet dream. Excuse my language, but yes, 1 year. Oh man, definitely accept that and take that. If there's an opportunity for a UFC fight, definitely, that's the dream.
And you train the like boxing for many years, so if you can tell me your prediction for Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou.
Ah man, I think Tyson Fury is gonna beat Ngannou by points. Yeah, I think he's just gonna, use that stiff jab, and every time Ngannou tries to come in close and get into range, he's gonna, boxers, just get him, gonna tie him up real quick, and then I think Tyson Fury will just out jab him, outpoint him. The only way I see Ngannou winning, and I'm an MMA fighter, but the only way I see Ngannou winning is getting maybe a lucky right hand, maybe lucky right hand, because I don't man, it's tough to say, but if he can get him with a nice right, maybe he can take him out. But I think Tyson Fury is a better boxer,
Yes,
definitely.
yes, it's hard to believe that Francis can win this fight, but I think also
Yeah,
like from fans' perspective, it's good to believe. Like Conor fought against Floyd Mayweather. It's like Floyd, it's so much better, but let's think that Conor have a chance, like the puncher's chance on, or he can cut the Floyd, and in this fight, it's a little bit similar. Like we need to believe that Francis can win.
I I think so. It's just there's just so much difference between boxers and MMA fighters. They're just in training with boxers. I see the differences as well, and I do see, like, no matter how much boxing I would love to do and train, they're always going to be a step ahead. Like when McGregor, like, I'm a big McGregor fan, but when he fought Mayweather, I knew Mayweather was just going to play with him the first couple rounds and then turn it up at the end, just like he did. Like, that was an obvious point. Mayweather's one of the best, like the best in the world. So I think the same thing's going to happen with Tyson Fury. He's gonna use this jab, just jab him, jab, 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 play with him the first couple of rounds, give the people what they want. It's a money fight. And then, slowly start to take it towards the end, just start giving it to Ngannou.
And what do you think about UFC World Heavyweight title fight, John Jones against Stipe?
Oh man, I think Stipe's been out a little too long. I think John Jones is gonna have his way with him. And seeing what John Jones did to Ciryl Gane, oh man, that was I didn't expect that to happen. I thought Ciryl was gonna. He didn't look mentally there that night. He looked like he was just caught off guard. And I think John Jones, he's the greatest of all time. John Jones is the best, the best of the best of the best. I think he's gonna go in there and whoop Stipe, to be honest.
Yes, I agree. I think that almost 3 years of break for Stipe is a little bit too long, and the John Jones is like on the top for so many years that also I think that it would be a quite easy fight for him.
I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think that he'll do what he wants to do. I don't think there's going to be like I don't think he's going to be uncomfortable in any situation. But it's not going to be easy. He's just going to be able to do what he wants to do with Stipe, I believe.
And getting back to your career, do you have like a moment or situation that you would like to change, like looking from right now from the perspective on so many years of you training either boxing or MMA?
A perspective that I would like to change.
No, no, one thing that you can change from right now. Let's say that you know that you made some mistakes 5 years ago and you can change it
Um,
and improve.
I think my weight, I could always improve on that. Like, I always walk around at 270 and I weigh in at like 261. But my strength and conditioning coach Drew was saying, if I can train and walk around at like 260, 250, and then, fight at like 245, kind of like the way Stipe does, or 250, then I would benefit greatly from that. But It is hard, man. It's hard in between fights to, stay very like into shape. I think that's one of my weaknesses is food right there. So I still walk around at 270 and then I don't have to cut weight, but I'll just, make sure I'm around 260, 262, 263 when I fight. And if I could just stay around 260 when I'm not fighting and then fight around 250, then I think that my speed would be on another level, my angles, my footwork. Um, it would be on another level. And I'm trying to get there. I'll get there right now. Like you were saying, could only be like a year until I get like a big call. So this next couple of months are definitely going to be, I'm going to be stricter on my diet.
And how do you deal with this stress before your fights with the mental game?
The mental game, my coach Larry Heredia, he has his master's in sports psychology from Fresno State here. And he helps me out with that a lot. We do a lot of visualization. I have a little diary, a little notebook that I put, what I feel like I need to do in training, and when I've accomplished that, I'll go into that diary in the notebook and say I could accomplish this today in training. What are you doing? What are you going to be practicing this next week? Write down your goals on a board. Visualize your next opponent. Visualize him having your back. Visualize him taking you down. Visualizing him stunning you. He's about to knock you out. What are you doing? Visually, I visualize every moment, everything that can go wrong in the fight. And also, I have mantras, day to day when I'm running, when I feel like I'm giving up or on something, I'm gonna say I'm a champion, I'm the best, I'm fast, I'm strong. You just consistently tell yourself that, and over time, it starts to manifest. Like you are fast, you are strong, you are a champion. You can't be defeated, and it comes true. That's how I work on my mental game right there.
Yes, and George St. Pierre talked a lot about visualization, that it is a very important part of the game, that he is visualization himself in tough positions, that he's dropped, that he like is close to being submitted, but he like thanks to visualization he can beat it and like find a way to not lose a fight.
Yes, you picture it 1,000 times in your mind so that when it happens, you're used to it and it's nothing. Yeah.
And outside of fighting, when you have a free time, what do you like to do? Do you have any passion, hobby? I think that right now you are a little bit busy with your child. It's probably
Oh yeah.
the most important thing. But if you have any additional time.
Any additional time right now would be probably, I've always played video games. I like video games. You know what? I actually learn a lot from UFC as well. In the game UFC 4, UFC 3. I like playing with my buddies. UFC, Modern Warfare, Warzone. On my free time, yeah, I love video games. Right now, like I was saying, like you said, actually, my daughter's she's taking up most of my time, me and my wife's time right now. So I haven't had time to play in the past 6 weeks many video games. It's pretty much just work, training, sleep, baby, and that's it right now. But hopefully, once we get on a routine, I'll have some more time to do some hobbies. I love spending family time. Like on Sunday, I call it family time slash workout time. We all go to a stadium and run. Me, my sisters, my in-laws, my wife, my daughter. We took her in the stroller. We'll go and they'll run a couple laps, do have some family time, but also making it like an athletic family time. I get my sisters to work out with me and stuff. So that would be one of my hobbies too. Besides working out, would be working out.
And if you do you have anything that is frustrates you, that you don't like some situation or some kind of behavior?
From just
Yeah,
from like
from
from
if no from your life overall.
oh frustrate probably. With life frustrating, probably money situation. I feel like us fighters should be getting paid more, even though they're smaller organizations. We risk our health on the line every fight. I feel like even the smaller organizations, we should be getting paid more. And then especially when we go up to the bigger organizations, PFL, Bellator, heavyweights. I think when you're first starting off, I think it's like 10K to show, 10K to win, or like 12K to show, 12K to win. Um, like, come on, 15K to show, 15K to win would be perfect for like prospect coming in. It'll give them time to, maybe they can stop working and just focus on just the sport, it'll make prospect fights much, much better as well. That's one thing that I would get frustrated at, is money situations with MMA.
And if you can rate anything 10 out of 10, like it's one thing that is best, one thing that you very like, it can be anything, what you would rate 10 out of 10?
Out of anything in life?
Anything, yes. It's like your first thought.
My first fight? Sorry.
No, your first thought. The first thing that you
Oh, the
thought
first
about.
thought. Hey,
Thought,
I'm a
yes.
heavyweight man. The first thing that comes to my mind, 10 out of 10, would be like a fat Mexican burrito.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the
it
first
can
thing.
be
Food.
10
Yeah,
out of 10.
yeah. That's the first thing that came to my mind when you said that. Yeah, a burrito. We have a local spot here, Don Pepe's. They smoke their asada on the grill right there. So, yeah, Don Pepe's burrito. That's 10 out of 10 right there. Food. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Food.
And last question, if you can learn any kind of skill outside of MMA, what you would like to learn and know?
Skill outside of MMA. Oh man, that's a very good question. Probably a pilot, because I have bad eyesight, and everybody says when you have bad eyesight, you can't fly planes. But I would love to, fly a plane one day. That sounds interesting. Being a pilot.
Okay, Larry, so many thanks for the conversation. I hope that you will fight 2 times in this year, that you will be fine, 5-1 in the end of the year. And maybe later in 2024, we can see you in the best option is UFC. Maybe short notice fight, maybe any other option, but that you will be in the UFC soon.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the goal right there. 2 wins at the end of this year, before next year, 5-1, 2024, and see if I can get some bigger fights 2024. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks.